Hello my beautiful ducks and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm furnishing this lovely apartment in the San Myshuno Spice District, the 18 Culpeper house, and my idea behind this build was originally for an academic sim, so maybe a sim who is in the lawyer profession or a teacher or maybe even a detective or the doctor profession, which came with Get to Work. So I also wanted to create a really homely, cozy apartment just filled with personality and character. So I think that's probably why I went with this really dark color scheme. I used the new flooring which came with the Cottage Living expansion pack. This is definitely some of my favorite flooring in the game. I just feel like the detail is perfect and the color swatches are just so warm and filled with character, and I love it. I think it's really well made and it suited this apartment so well. Here you'll just see me placing down that new planter which came with the new pack as well. I'm not sure what it is about certain plants in the game, but they have a really weird shadow if they're placed inside. But I found this interesting trick that if you place some of those lighting which came in the debug menu, you can place them in build mode and they sort of light the plants up a bit better, and then when you go into live mode or live mode, however you want to pronounce that, it disappears. So it's really handy when you want to light a particular object up without using lights from the actual build by catalog. That's just a little tip for you guys, but be careful when you place it because sometimes it can give some really harsh lighting to your sims if they're walking past it. You need to sort of rotate it in a certain way, but it's a very cool tip to sort of fix that annoying glitch with the plants. I'm hoping in the future the Sims team will fix that glitch, or maybe give us alternative versions of plants. I don't know, I'm not sure how they could go about fixing it, to be honest, but that's not down to me to decide or to figure out. So we are just currently decorating this small little entryway, and like I said, I wanted it to feel really cozy and welcoming as you came in. I really like the idea of putting extra seats for the dining room table all over the builds that I create. It's just a nice homely touch, and I feel like in most cases you always have like a spare that doesn't necessarily fit underneath the dining table. So in every house I've lived in, we've always had slightly more chairs than was necessary for our tables. So I'm not sure if it's a UK thing or just a laursimming family thing. It's probably the latter, to be honest. But here we are decorating the kitchen. Now this is my favorite kitchen. I cannot stress this enough. It is absolutely perfect for me. It's full of clutter and detail and realism and all these little objects which I pulled out of the debug menu. And I also did that trick again which I did in my previous speed building video, where I placed a pot of sauce on the stove and then I've used the spoon, and using the tool mod I've just rotated that to make it look like it's sitting in the pan. I love this trick, it's awesome. It just adds so much more realism to my builds and just makes me really happy. So I'm probably going to do that in all of my kitchens going forward. So if you want to do that in your kitchens, then feel free. I just think it's a really cool little touch when you're designing your rooms to make them look as realistic as possible. So I used a lot of objects from the new expansion pack as well as the kitchen kit, because the jars which came with that pack are just fantastic, and I love the little details that you have. You can change the options of the swatches to show either biscuits or flour or tea or coffee. I just think that's really awesome, and I love the bread bins and I love the little pots that came with the packs. I just think they're really cute, and I had a lot of fun with this kitchen. It's overly cluttered, but it's still functional because I did leave one counter space free for your Sims to cook their food. I have also play tested this build and everything works. You should have no problem if you want to download this and put it into your game. If you would like to put this build in your game, you can search for it on the gallery by typing in my origin ID, which is laursimming. So feel free to head on over to the gallery once you finish watching this video and download it and put it into your game. If you have any problems with it, I know that installing apartments from the gallery is quite finicky, so feel free to send me a message. My social handles are on the screen for you right now, so feel free to drop me a message or tweet me and I'll do my best to help you. So the idea for this build initially started off, like I said, as an academic sim living here, but then as my journey into furnishing this build continued, I decided that as well as being an academic sim, I had this storyline where the adult who lives in this apartment has 2 children, and in my head they have recently split up from their partner and they are living in this apartment, and it's kind of like a stopgap almost, and I'll tell you why I had that idea. So when I was furnishing the children's bedroom, I decided to put bunk beds in. So I only recently started using the bunk beds. I know we've had them for forever, but this is how far behind in my building that I am at the moment. But I've only recently started using bunk beds, and I feel like I'm now making up for lost time or something, so expect a lot of bunk beds in my builds going forward. I feel like this might be a bit of a recurring theme. But anyway, I did sort of think to myself that the reason that this apartment has bunk beds is because the parent who lives here maybe can't afford to buy a bigger house or a bigger apartment, so they're doing whatever they can with the limited space that they have. And I really like that sort of storyline. It's very realistic to me, and I had a lot of fun decorating the children's bedroom. But before we get there, we are just decorating the master bedroom of this apartment. Now, the sims that I created for this build to playtest everything was a single dad and his son and daughter. Now, they are both in the children life span, but I didn't necessarily envision them to be twins. I felt like they were probably quite close in age, but not necessarily twins. However, if you did want to download this and play with this family, then you could make a child and a toddler, or 2 toddlers, or whatever you really want to. I just decided to make the 2 children because I placed down 2 children beds in the build, but feel free to switch out them and make them toddler beds, or however you want really. You could even take out the bottom bed and just put a desk underneath there as well. So here is the children's bedroom that we're working on at the moment. I love this bunk bed that came with the interior designer pack. I just think the swatches are so cute. The wood just matched my dark vibe and the color scheme I wanted. And I love this bedroom. It ends up being ridiculously cute with like the toy dollhouse from Eco Lifestyle. I did try to fit the tent which came with the home decorator kit, but I just couldn't really get it to fit. And I'm desperate to use that object, and I'm so mad at the game developers for making that object so massive. Like, why? Why would you do this to us? Like, I don't build big houses as a rule. I really struggle with creating homes which are bigger than, say, a lot that's 20 by 30. I really struggle to build big houses. I am planning on challenging myself very soon and doing a larger build, but I have to sort of work myself up before I commit. But I feel like the majority of houses that I build for are small, and it's just entirely preposterous to think that you would be able to realistically fit something that big into the game. Anyway, we are just in this bathroom now. There are 2 bathroom areas in this build. So one is a toilet and a sink only, and the other is the full bathroom with the bathtub. Now, one thing I did forget to do is place a dryer in this build. I placed the washing machine in the kitchen because that's very typical of the UK, and I did put a washing machine in the kitchen in my last build. I really enjoyed doing that, so I did it again. But I forgot to put a dryer in, so if you do decide to download this, then please feel free to take out the laundry decorational objects which are in the main bathroom and pop yourself in a dryer. So we are now at the end of the speed build. The screenshots are coming up. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please remember to give it a big thumbs up, subscribe if you're new here, and I will see you all next time. Bye!